What's up everyone, my name is Cosine101 and today we're back with part number 2. Part number 2 of the Smog tours, the first Smog tour I ever participated in, and we're already in round 3. If you haven't seen round 1 and 2, you might want to go back to that because I played decently well and it was a different team. It's actually quite enjoyable. It's the same team as another battle I'll be broadcasting in this one. Spoilers, there will be more than one battle in this one. As well. So, as you can see, this is like an official Smog tour because it's everywhere on the screen. I'm not sure if you can see that. I don't think you actually can see that, but we're playing CNE, or aka Cause and Effect, and this is a team I stole from Cosine. This is a team I stole from Cosine. It's a Hyper Offense team with Specs Keldeo, Leftover Superior, Scarf Jirachi, Mega Diancie, Life Orb Weavile. I'm not sure if this thing has Poison Jab or not, or Low Kick. I'm just gonna... well, it doesn't really matter, because I don't think I use any of those in this game. Low Kick would have been nice for T-Hard. I don't think I have that. And Defensive Landers, which sets up Stealth Rocks. So, we're just gonna lead off. I noticed that his team doesn't really have... well, I figured he'd lead with Klefki, because everyone wants to set up spikes, so I'm just going to negate that and going to Diancie. This thing has Earth Power, so I could just freely fire off an Earth Power turn number 1, as his only switch into this safely actually is Hippowdon, so he doesn't really have switches for Diancie in general anyway. But he leaves Wiggle Fable. I decide, you know what, you can't really touch me turn 1, so I'm just gonna throw a Diamond Storm at your face and see how much that does. But he says a Calm Mind, and I notice this is not a 2-hit KO. So I have to switch. I really have to switch. So I go into a Jirachi, and I figure, you know what, you don't want to get Iron Head flinch to death, so let me just U-turn. But he actually stays in. I don't have switches for this thing anymore. So I go to back into Mega Diancie, as Flamethrower doesn't do anything, but this upcoming Moonblast is actually going to hurt. I should have doubled back into Jirachi right there, but I didn't. So Diancie's gonna get hurt a lot, and this guy doesn't figure as well. If he goes for Moonblast, Sex Diancie, he doesn't want Iskall Fable be at low health. So I go into Jirachi, and now I start spamming Iron Head because I'm forced to, but he realizes that I'm forced to do that. So he goes into Toasty, which is his Charizard, Mega Charizard X. So I kinda figured that from his team, because otherwise you wouldn't really run Sand. Because usually you don't run Sand in combination with Zard Y. Often people do that to throw people off, but I figured this was likely going to be a Zard X. So I switch in my Landers as he wisped me, but I don't really care. So I'm just gonna Earthquake, and then I really wanted to just throw Stealth Rock at his face, but I actually don't. I just Earthquake because that thing is a threat. And this guy is just... I'm just gonna go out into my Diancie right here, which was a misclick. I meant to go Jirachi because Jirachi noms every Lottie hit ever, especially because you're not gonna go Earthquake, which this thing doesn't have, but on Orlando. But I make a misclick, and I go Diancie as he goes for T-Bolt, which is very unfortunate because I lose my Diancie, which was very good against his team. I just lose it straight off the bat. But I go Weavile. Weavile is really good against his team, and the only thing that can legitimately take it on really well is this Klefki, and Klefki doesn't have solid recovery, so as soon as we get that thing whittled, then Weavile is a massive threat to his team. Another massive threat to his team is Superior, because this doesn't take it on, this doesn't take it on, this doesn't take it on once it's at like +2 or +4. +4 definitely doesn't take it on, because then it gets straight up OHKO'd. Fable can't OHKO it with Flamethrower. This thing is at low health, and it also gets hit super effectively, so the only thing I need to get rid of is Klefki in order for Superior to get off a good sweep. But as you can see, I'm gonna get rid of the Klefki right here now. So Klefki's gone, which opens up windows for Weavile and Superior. That's just phenomenal. But I don't want to stay on Hippowdon because that thing is a threat, and he's just gonna set up Stealth Rocks because he knows that my team has trouble with that. He sees I don't have hazard removal, I only have a magic bouncer, and that's it. And I just go for Scald, and here I figure, you know what, if I get to roll right here, then I'm in such a good position because I got rid of Fable. I'm just going to destroy his world. Unfortunately though, I don't get to roll, And now he's at the amount of HP where I definitely can no longer take him out, but he's still gonna get 2 out. So he decides to soft-boiled. And I got paralyzed right here, which is very unfortunate, because I needed that damage in order to just 2-hit KO this thing with Superior, and now I cannot 2-hit KO it with Superior. However, I'm gonna go on a Superior, because I didn't really calc throughout this battle, and I go for a Leaf Storm, and I got crit, which allows me to actually 2-hit KO this thing right now. Not sure if it was a 2-hit KO anyway. Probably not. Actually, probably was. But I'm just gonna go for another Leaf Storm. He's gonna go into Toasty, and at this point, I figured, okay, this is my win con right now. I could probably sweep with it right here. So let's not do that. But it goes into T-Tar. Looking at his team, he doesn't have a Scarfer, and I figured, you know, this thing has got to be Scarf. So I'm just gonna go into Lando right here on his Crunch, because he didn't want to he did not want to pursue right there, because that probably wouldn't have killed me and he would have died, and then he would have straight up lost to Superior right then and there. But I go to U-turn because he cannot stay in. He can't let his T-Tar get knocked off, because then he's also going to lose the battle. And he doesn't know that I don't have knockoff, because I've Stone Edge over knockoff, because otherwise I lose to Talonflame. But I go into Lottie as he goes into Powdon. Best play probably here would have been to go for an Icicle Crush, but I decided to go knockoff. And here at this point I start calcing, and I figured if you're a standard mixed defense, then you're going to definitely die from this Icicle Crush. So Hippo goes down, his massive threat is out of my face, and now he goes into T-Tar. And the funny thing about Weavile is that it's faster than Scarf Tar, so I can actually now knock off its Choice Scarf, and then I'm gonna beat it. So he claimed that I should have gone Syrup here. I don't agree, because it was a roll, and if I don't get a roll, then I lose. So I go into Lando. I want to U-turn now, because this thing is... Yeah, but now I have to go into Syrup, and the thing I have to do right now, if this is standard Lottie with 72 HP investment, then this Dragon Pulse is roll as well. So I didn't want to risk a roll in T-Tar, but now I did want to risk a roll, which makes no sense, but oh well. He goes Indigo Fable, and he chokes right here. Well, not really. He doesn't really choke, because as soon as he would have gone for a soft boiled right here, then it would have killed him afterwards. Would he gone for a Flamethrower, then Keldeo would have gotten this game with Spec Scald. So at this point, there's no way he could win. Nothing he could do. Calm Mind looks like a bad play, but there was legitimately nothing he could do to actually win this game. Had I missed that Leaf Storm and he would have sent up a Calm Mind, then I would have been probably in a very, very sore position. But now I just Leaf Storm again, because I can, at this point, Keldeo outspeeds this thing, and I can kill with a Secret Sword, so it doesn't even matter if I miss Leaf Storm or not. But that was round number 3, and now we're just going to go on round number 4, and I'm going to use the same exact team with Specs Keldeo, Leftover Serbs. Yeah, you heard the team. But we're playing a bit of a stally ass team, with probably Speed Up Talonflame with no item. Sleep Talk Coon, probably Roar Coon because he was Hazard Stack, and Latios, which I don't really understand, because you probably want to have a Starmie in this slot to get rid of your hazards and also your Keldeo switch in. But he doesn't agree with that, apparently. I would definitely put Starmie in this slot, but he said Latios. And Hippo, Pharaoh, and stupid ass Mega Sableye. But I decided to leave the Keldeo because I figured he'd lead with Sableye and I could just Specs Hydro Pump it. But that's not gonna happen. So we exchange Scalds. I get a burn, he doesn't snag a burn. That's unfortunate for him, not for me. But at this point, I'm just gonna go into Jirachi, because I figured he'd switch, but he doesn't. Because I thought he'd predict my Serp switch, but he doesn't. And I go for Trick. So he is now Choice Scarf Suicune, which is locked into Rest. And I actually have leftovers right now, which is really good for me to handle Latios a bit better. So I'm gonna Hippo. I just U-turn because he's locked, so he's forced to switch, so I can just U-turn and go and act accordingly. I go to Kelio, which is great because now I can fire off a Spec Skull and something. He's just gonna go back out on a Suicune. And I decided to stand because he locks himself in a Rest Talk, into Sleep Talk, and eventually I'm going to kill this thing because he can no longer recover. Gets crit, doesn't matter, he doesn't get a burn, so I prefer actually getting crit over getting a burn. So I Scald again, I don't get a burn, a Ferrothorn, kind of unfortunate, but what do you do? And now he starts setting up hazards. So that's an issue because I don't have anything against it. I don't have a way of getting rid of them, and these hazards just pressure me a lot. But I go Stealth Rocks, as he goes Spikes. And at this point, I just figure, you know what, let's just U-turn. Maybe you want to switch, fearing something, or just don't want to get your Ferrothorn weakened. Go ahead, Jirachi. As he sets up more Spikes, and at this point, it's basically okay. I'm going to Fire Punch. I'm just looking in a bad position because everything takes 25. I have a very grounded team, and he's gonna get up his Stealth Rocks very shortly because he goes into Powdon right now, which doesn't have Sandstream because that's obvious because it doesn't have anything that benefits from it. But I decided to Fire Punch on a Ferrothorn again. Should have gone U-turn and a Fire Punch again because I figure maybe I can snag and burn on the Stealth Rocks, but I don't. So now I'm in a really bad spot. So I U-turn. At this point I'm just looking really bad, but I go to Lando because I really wanted to go Keldeo, but I just couldn't because this Earthquake was coming my way, and I don't want Keldeo to take an awful lot of damage, and it's already kind of damage at 60%, 65%, so I go to Lando. Basically what has to happen is that I have to switch out on one of his slack offs. I have to predict his slack off, or he has to whirlwind me out. So that's exactly what's going to happen. He's going to go into Jirachi, and I figure, okay, I don't have anything for this Hippo, so let's do what Jirachi does best, and let's try and flinch this thing to death, because I legitimately cannot do anything else. So that's what we're doing. I'm just going to Iron Head, and I'm actually going to get those flinches, which is a terrible play on my end, but he's going to switch right here into Suicune, and that's fine. Because I don't want to Suicune to rest. I don't want this Suicune. I just want to flinch the Suicune to death as well. So what I'm going to do is the exact same thing I did to the Hippo. I'm just going to try and flinch this thing as much as possible. But he's going to Sleep Talk, and he's going to extra Sleep Talk Calm Mind. But this was his last Sleep turn, so he's locked in a Sleep Talk. So I figure, you know what, you're going to go into Ferrothorn. So I go Fire Punch right here. So that's a 2-hit KO, and that definitely works. That definitely works. So my predictions are on point right now. Jirachi is actually shifting the momentum back into my favor, and at this point I figure, you know what, you're not gonna let your Ferrothorn die. You're gonna switch out again, as he does. He goes down a Suicune. I didn't feel like predicting, so I just go for another Fire Punch. And at this point, an Iron Head should be enough to kill him because that had 8% to Suicune, and he's currently at 5 or 4 because Showdown thingies are janky. But you're going to Sableye right now, and I just do not wish to get this thing burned. So I'm going to Keldeo, the only thing I could potentially get burned, and he does land a burn on me, but I don't really care. Keldeo would have been nice, but it's not necessary at all. He has a switch in, he has a check, he has actually 2 switch ins. And if I lock myself into Secret Sword, then Sableye is going to spit in my face. So I just keep spamming Scald at this point until I die. So he's at 65%, and now Weavile can come in and just get a kill. I decided to go Icicle Crush, so I get a kill, and now I can no longer switch out really. So I'm gonna go. He's gonna go Sableye, and he's gonna Wisp me, and there's nothing I can do. But apart from Weavile apparently can do something because it just avoids the attack, and I Icicle Crush and I kill it. So at this point it's the Weavile show as well. So Jirachi and Weavile have been putting this back on this team on our back. Yeah, and I really adore that. So I just go Knockoff because I calced, and that was both for a roll, like Ice Crash and Knockoff, but Knockoff apparently does more. I didn't know that, but he's gonna go out and pound on. And I'm just gonna go Ice Crash. He probably should have gone Talon Flame right there because then I was forced to Ice Shard, but I probably would have knocked off. Which it doesn't turn out to be a great play because this thing is Acrobatics, which reveals that he doesn't have an item. However, there's no way in hell that he's gonna kill my Diancie, which this Acrobatics is 22%, it does 19%, so Diamond Storm is definitely going to be taken out with this Talonflame. And that's a good game. So, as I said when we started playing this one, the previous game, this is Cosine's team. I stole this team from Cosine, and he played it to play Don Angelo or something. I'm not sure about that guy's name, but he built this team to play against that guy. And because it kind of counters his normal playstyle, and I decided just to use this team. And now I got matched up against Cosine 180. This is another alt of him, but this is Cosine 180. So I actually told him last 2 rounds I basically won with your team. So damn it, I really wanted to use this team again because it has been working. Also kind of hacks on my end, but yeah, here we go. So I'm just going to play Senpai, basically. So I'm going to lead with Keldeo because Keldeo threatens everything, really. But I'm just going to go Secret Sword. And I figured he'd go into Starmie right here, which he does. No, which he doesn't, because I'm a Sableye, and here I full switch. Just trying to get off a full switch. But he goes into Hippo. I wanted to HP Ice, but I didn't feel like over-predicting already. But as we can see later on, this Hippo takes that HP Ice as a champion. It only does like 35 to 40%. And that's just straight up terrible. So I'm going to Keldeo, which threatens out as a Powdon, but he's going to just go on to Starmie, which is initial switch in. And I figure, you know what? Okay, what's going to happen is that Starmie kind of is his only switch in for Keldeo. It's only switch in for Keldeo. So what I need to do is Pursuit Trap this thing and kill it. So that was the plan. That's why I doubled in the Bisharp. And as soon as I killed this Starmie, then Keldeo would have had a great time. Secret Sword this, Hydro Pump this, or Scald this, Hydro Pump this, because it cannot take 2, Hydro Pump this, or Scald. And Talonflame definitely gets Scald, so it's definitely not switching. So at this point, as soon as I Pursuit Trap this Starmie, Keldeo is going to tear his team apart as soon as I make some aggressive or offensive doubles. However, this is a Reflect type Starmie, and I don't have Low Kick, I just have Pursuit. Revealing Pursuit, then he knows that I don't have Low Kick. That's terrible, because now he can continuously Scald me. I'm just going to knock off. So what I decide to do now is, because this Starmie is now Steel Dark, he still doesn't have a switch into Keldeo, and knowing that he only has Scald and Reflect type, he also has Rapid Spin and Recover on defensive Starmie. So he doesn't have Side Shock, so he can't really touch my Keldeo. And knowing that he's a different typing right now, he doesn't like taking hits from Keldeo, so he definitely gets OHKO'd by a Specs Hydro Pump. So what I'm gonna do now is just go actually out into that Keldeo and go for a Specs Hydro Pump. And exactly what I'm gonna do. And he predicts that. No, he doesn't really predict that. He goes into Clefable, which is his next best switch in, which would have been 2-8 KO'd, but I miss. Blunder in the comment section right now is just, oh, such a good player, but Cosine is apologizing because, yeah. And now we're going to Bronzong, and I set up my Stealth Rocks, but he sets up Spikes, and you know, like last turn, I don't really like facing Spikes. So I go into Mega Man Electric. Because that threatens this thing out with a Flamethrower as he sets Leech Seed. But he doesn't want to stay in. I don't want to stay in because I predicted double in a Powdon because he did that last time. But he's actually going to Protect, so it doesn't even matter. And now I'm forced to lock myself in a Secret Sword. Now he can switch out in a Sableye. I kind of predict that and gone to Bisharp, but he could have also gone Clefable. Maybe I banked on that, but he's just going to Wisp me. And that's going to be terrible, because at this point I can't win. If I would have gotten the Hydro Pump hit on Clefable and I would have Pursuit Trapped this Starmie, maybe had Low Kick Pursuit Bisharp, which is not a thing ever. but maybe I would bring it next time. And then Mega Man weakened to Hippo somewhere, but no, Keldeo just would have put so much pressure on his team where I eventually would have won. Unfortunately, I don't. Unfortunately, this is spoiler. I cannot beat his team. I figured he's gonna go Hippo, Ledge HPI's this thing into it, Kyo, but nope. Hippo is like, nah, can't touch this. But I put this on fast right now because we all know how this is going to end. I'm gonna go down to sandstorm damage eventually. I can no longer switch out as Manectric because I die to entry hazards. And he just goes for an Earthquake to kill me. I go into Scalpy. That's great because he doesn't know I'm offensive. I'm just gonna go Aqua Tail right here and put his Hippo into range of everything really. Even my own Hippo's Earthquake will probably be enough at this point. But I'm just gonna go Scald. And that's how life works. So I do get a kill, I don't get 6-0'd. He probably could have chosen to 6-0 me, but if I would have crit the Starmie with a Hydro Pump right there, then he would have been in a very, very... well, then I would have been in a somewhat better position. Then maybe Hippo plus Keldeo could have won me the... nah, that's probably too optimistic, because I was too far behind. But, it would have been in not such a great position as he was right now if he just sucked a Hippo. So he actually acknowledged, yeah, so he realized I shouldn't do that. But he foul played. And that's going to be the end of everything. I'm just going to go into Keldeo and I do Specs Hydro Pump it, but I don't get a grip. So Starmie doesn't die. And I do die to a Scald. That's right. I mean, I was going to die to everything anyway. And now Hippo can actually take down this Starmie, which is great that he let me. So I'm actually going to lose 4-0 to this guy, because at this point he basically had already won and doesn't really care about a score anymore. But he reveals that he is Ice Beam Clefable, so this team doesn't get 6-0'd by Gliscor. But that's going to be the end of my tournament thingy. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will hopefully see you in the next Smog Tours because I really enjoyed this thing. Peace.